let's talk about Bucky freaking Irving. Evan, you called him out before. I understand your joy. Posted a couple of highlights on Twitter. Just talk about him. I will ramble.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to tout Mike on Bucky Irving since the beginning of the season. Coming into this season, I was really high on Bucky and what he does for that offense. You look at him every single time he touches the ball, he has a chance to house it. He's an absolute jitterbug out in the open field. He has incredible lateral quickness. Absolutely love watching him in that Oregon offense. And for all the crap that everybody gives of players coming out of Oregon, Oregon's offenses have been elite for many, many years, and Bo was very efficient in that offense. And you look at the lateral quickness. Expected measurables here, getting back to that on Bucky. He's expected to be 5'10", 195. So he's going to be on the lighter side. That's not the typical 3-down back that you want to look at. But I still think we've seen guys like Achane, we've still seen other running backs in the NFL that have succeeded at those sizes in reduced roles. And he's a efficiency back. He is not a total workhorse back. Mike?
There is no way that he weighs in at 195.
No, I honestly think he's going to be closer to 185.
I think he's Achane sized. Achane.
I think he's bigger than Achane, but still. You look at career metrics here. So 2021, 133 carries, 699 yards and 4 touchdowns. 2022, 156 carries, 1,058 yards and 5 touchdowns. 2023, 186 carries, 1,180 yards and 11 touchdowns. So you really see that final season really taking off, which correlates with Bo and that offense really getting comfortable. You look at him in 2022 and really taking that kind of lead back role. You look at that offense as well, and it was a shared backfield. He wasn't the 100% always on the field back. So he was used like that in college, which I think will translate and show NFL teams that, hey, this is a guy that's going to be in a committee backfield, most likely a 2 or 3-headed committee come the NFL level.
Yeah, I love the call out that he's definitely not the guy in a backfield. But as we've seen with Achane, as we've seen with Keaton Mitchell, as we've seen with some of these smaller backs, there are opportunities for guys to just be PPR machines or to just make a couple of house calls and all of a sudden your fantasy day is made. So I see him almost in the same exact realm, and I'm really excited to see how the NFL views him, because that's going to decide a lot of that trust that is given to him in a backfield. So yeah, I rewinded a little too much, but look at this. Make a guy miss, plant hand on the ground. He is 185, maybe. Soft, maybe.
I got to jump in here. I don't know if y'all follow P.A. Howdy, Peter Howard. If you don't, You should.
Oh,
he's converted me. Running back size doesn't matter. I don't care how big they are anymore. If they can do it, they can do it. This to me is sexy Myles Gaskin. I love it. I am not at all deterred by the size, and I don't think you should be either. I think the NFL is different enough today to where we don't have to have those preconceived notions of a 220-pound running back being a bell cow. Linebackers are smaller now. If you have this level of slipperiness and this vision, and if you're not getting squared up consistently, you can play in the NFL today at this weight, at 185.
It's like NFL teams are figuring out what we've known in Madden for years, that you just pick. If you pick the fast players can't get touched, so then there's no chance for you to get tackled.
Yeah.
Look at this. So this is the last play in the highlight film. He jukes a guy. That linebacker doesn't hit him square. He has, 5 more yards to get the first down? He carries the dude. He's not carrying him on strength. He's carrying him because he didn't get hit square and because he's having the contact balance to carry through and push.
And that's what I was about to say, Mike, is I absolutely love his contact balance.
It's weird.
You look at how willing he is and how able he is to just stay on his feet after having a weird angled type hit. Just biomechanically, if you look at the hits that he takes too, he takes very, very few direct hits. One of the people that it kind of reminds me of, and I get it, it's a quarterback, but it reminds me of how Lamar just takes so many hits that are just like a little off center so that he doesn't absorb the type of blow, which biomechanically then tells you that deflection angles and impact forces just get drastically decreased on the body.
Yep. If you guys watch Jujutsu Kaisen, which I don't know anyone would, this is the weirdest crossover. There's a character that can move his heart around, so he never dies because as he's about to die, he moves the heart. Shout out Panda from Jujutsu Kaisen. But let's dive into the first play. I just went super nerd on the air. So, I mean, just like
he took like half a step there and he was gone.
I think I froze this as I was making the tape, but like that, what? That's not real. That's not how that's supposed to work. So I'm going to go ahead and check that off as a good thing. And also, hello, Olivia. Never heard
Olivia.
of you. That's my wife. You're
hey.
Bucky Irving in space it's kind of like Tyreek Hill-esque. He's not the same level, but if you see him here in space, like make a guy miss, make another guy miss, like he could win tag in a phone booth, and that's I love that. Here, wait, I'm gonna rewind on this one. Tell me how many. Oh, you go ahead, Evan.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, going back to that play that you were just showing. Well, one of the things that in watching the games, it seems like, and I haven't dove into the film like 100% on these games, but it definitely looks like once he gets up to full speed, it's a lot harder for him to change directions, and he's not nearly as much of a jitterbug.
Yes.
But when he actually is stopped or just starting to accelerate, absolute jitterbug makes people miss left and right.
Dude, he's like jumping all over the field. It doesn't make sense.
Yep.
But once he's in that full out sprint, It's like big, long turns. But yeah, short area. It's so fun. Tell me, how many running backs have you seen lined up in, we call this like the sniffer, or like, like a wing back, like it's 1990 or 1980. He's almost like a tight end right now. Have you seen this in an NFL
field?
Love
to see it. This is beautiful.
And then look, I love this play design. That is illegal. They are blocking. You can't do that yet because it's a downfield pass.
Yeah,
it's college football because they get away with it. Then just,
it was almost like a fake chip.
Yeah. But design touches in space, reads the blocks, and just enough contact balance to get the first down. Like, you love it. And then this play. So I put this one on. It's not the prettiest play, but I want you guys to look specifically at what happens to the first defender that makes contact with Bucky. That is a linebacker, and he tosses him. Bucky weighs less than my little brother, who is a very skinny man. And he's just throwing. This was Utah, I think. It was either Utah or Washington State. Either way, like a solid defender.
But he knows how to use leverage, and that's one of the biggest things for small running backs, is you can be small and still be very effective if you know how to use leverage to be able to get these linebackers and get these linemen off of you. Because, I mean, you're giving up 100 pounds to most of these linemen. Yep. You're giving up 70, 60 pounds to most, well, maybe a little less with these days with NFL linebackers.
Yep.
Getting a little bit smaller, but you're giving up a significant chunk of weight to these guys. So once again, if you get their momentum going one direction and you're able to get them just a little bit off center, it makes it that much easier to shed the tackles.
He plays like a judo fighter. Like, he's just using momentum and like tossing hips. And it is lovely. This one, again, nothing special. He gets gang tackled. But when we see it from the L22, I went ahead and I started to add. I couldn't count how many players there were because I'm not that smart. But, like, started going through. So he broke, I think, 2 tackles before this. And then there's all of these ones. Like, he just makes it happen. And that's awesome to see from a smaller back.
Here's the other thing too, is right before he catches the ball, he sees all these defenders closing in on him, and he catches the ball effortlessly.
Do you remember the first clip or the second clip of Xavier Legette we showed today? Where he saw one defender, and then he dropped the lateral, just a little different. And one of these plays running back. This one's cool. Look at his ability to control his body on the sideline while getting hit by a linebacker. I also just thought it was cool to see Bo Nix run around. Quarterback 4 in the class, but I don't know if that means anything. Just, keeping the feet in bounds, knowing where you are on the field. He's a real receiving threat. He's not like he can catch dump-offs. Like, I think Braylon Allen can catch some dump-offs. Like, he's a receiver. And they lined him up at receiver all over the field, which was
You get
cool.
crushed in the NFL on that play, though.
Oh, yeah,
You do, yeah.
He'd be very sad. But here he just got a nice little love shove. And, okay, so I played this one because Evan, you wanted to talk about Braylon Allen's pass protection. This was the only pass protection snap that he took this whole game.
Yes,
and
he is horrible. Do not let this man be in pass pro.
He is a liability.
100% liability.
But, you guys ready for the fun part? This is what he can do when he's not being asked to pass pro at 200. Sorry, always play to the whistle, number 8, because I don't know if you guys saw that, but that was my favorite clip of the whole
absolutely
night.
Destroyed. But when you get him the ball in open space, like, absolutely just gobbles up yards as fast as possible. Which I absolutely love. Like, you're looking at a guy that wants to get north and south, has the wiggle east and west to be able to make a guy miss in the open field. You put him one-on-one against a corner, and I bet there's very few corners in the NFL that are actually having a clean tackle on him one-on-one.
Yeah. He has the contact balance to make corners a mismatch. He has the speed to make linebackers a mismatch. Like, if he finds himself in the right system, like Achane did, like, he's going to be a dynasty darling and a fantasy football darling. So for all you redraft people out there, no one's going to know about Bucky Irving in mid-August. Everyone's going to know about Bucky Irving in October. So go ahead and grab him. Evan, this is our last player. We are over time, but who cares? This was a blast. Talk about Bucky, where you think his real NFL draft capital is, and your dynasty vibes.
Yeah, real NFL draft capital. I think he's day 4 pick. Day 4, round 4.
Day 4.
Wow, yeah, day 4. Golly. Apparently I'm tired because we're over time. But yeah, so I think he's going to be a round 4, day 3 type of pick. I think that very solidly, based off his size, based off of his production, I think he's going to test well. I don't think he's going to be considered this otherworldly athlete, but I think he's going to test well. You look at Oregon being a blue blood program. I think that's going to increase it. These NFL GMs like guys coming from these power teams. They know how to play around other very good players. They know how to fight for time and be able to go get what they want. I think he's most likely going to be a 3rd round rookie pick. If I'm guessing, I think he's, with a good landing spot, could potentially get talked up into the late 2nd. But I think ultimately he's going to end up being an early 3rd. If he gets a bad landing spot, maybe he drops to the mid 3rd, but I think he's going to be an early 3rd rookie draft pick.
Yeah. Tommy, I don't know how familiar you were with Bucky Irving before this, but what are your vibes about him afterwards, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I had him as a mid to late 2nd just because the running back class is not great, and I think that folks are going to reach a little bit. Like him, would love him in a Shanahan style system.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not sure if it's going to fully translate, but at that price point, I'm interested in buying.
Yeah. Where do you think he goes in the real NFL draft?
4th round.
Okay. I support it. I think it comes down to how fast he runs. Like, if this is another weird thing where, like, Achane had a much, more productive profile, if I remember right. But, like, if he runs like a track star, which he plays like a track star on film, like, he could get bumped up to the 3rd round. I don't think there's any world where he goes earlier than that, but 3rd round at most, 4th round, 5th round, more likely, due to size concerns and what we see. So with that, it's entirely landing spot dependent. If he goes to Pittsburgh he's dead to me. If he goes to, yeah, RIP. If he goes to Chicago, like, it could be fun, but it would be like a weird, you got to figure out what they're going to do with him there. Like, there are a couple of landing spots that you're worried about, and there's a couple that you're really excited about. Basically, just Google who has worked with Kyle Shanahan and like pick one of those places. So I would take him back into the second. Maybe the hype train builds around him as we get closer. So we'll see. But that closes out the show. Let me close the background monster with all of the lovely, lovely film. Tommy, it was a blast. I hope you had fun. Did you have fun?
I had a great time. Thanks for having me on, y'all. I really appreciate it. I love your show, and everyone should listen to this because it's so much fun.
I really appreciate that. Evan, did you have fun?
Oh yeah, I may be a sleepy boy, but I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I texted Evan earlier. I was like, hey, I think we're going to go a little early tonight. I didn't get as many clips as we wanted. And then we just kept rolling and the vibes were good. If you're still listening with us at home, we're giving away this card on my Twitter in a little bit. So all you got to do, just hit the subscribe button. It's free 99, $0. You hit subscribe, take a screenshot, comment it on my Twitter. It's the same as this little thing here. And then you'll get entered, and I'm going to pick one before we bounce. So that'll happen before I go to bed. Evan, sell me on Debbie real quick. Talk to me about Debbie.
It's this jitterless energy drink. Yeah, it's fantastic. When I'm just sitting here listening to engineers drove on about everything that they want to do, and developers complain that they're not going to be able to make enough money, I'm just sitting here drinking my W, being like, I'm keeping my energy level up for these meetings when I can be getting so down over all of it. You know, it's really great for just sitting there during the day. You need that little boost, and you just don't want to have a cup of coffee. You know, you don't want to have something that's going to stain your teeth. You know, you don't want to have something that's going to be over here having a heavy crash to it. W is the way.
Yeah, I forgot my W the other day. I had a monster at work. Oof. I couldn't fall asleep that night. I was like sitting there like jittering. So big W guy, swapped out my energy drinks for that, swapped out my coffee for a little bit, but I just also like the taste of coffee. Big fan, use code FFRPG at checkout. Thank you so much to everyone that's tuned in. Thank you so much. Tommy, do you want to tell the people where to find you one more time?
Sure, at FFTommyB on Twitter, on the Superflex Super Show, and coming up very soon on Dynasty Junkies.
Tommy's a rock star, go follow him. Make sure you follow Dynasty Junkies. Make sure you find more Tommy, because I need more Tommy in my life too. Thanks so much, everybody, and have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye.